What's going on, everybody? This is Ravenscar Gaming here, and today we're going to take a full tour of the complete Hawk Ridge Animal Park. Before I get started, I just want to let everybody know that this is my first time doing some commentary. I'm not necessarily nervous, but I'm not sure if I feel comfortable doing it, so we'll see how things go. So if there's any mistakes or bad audio or anything like that, I apologize in advance, but please let me know down in the comment section below, and we'll go ahead and get started. The whole point, or the idea I had of this zoo, was to build not necessarily a zoo, but more of a park. So maybe not so much as lots of money to build the zoo, but just a good place to keep the animals safe. First thing I want to point out is the sign here. The font that I downloaded from the workshop is from RiaPx. So you'll see more of her font in different places throughout the zoo. We come here to the welcome building. This information stand is pretty much a stand-in for a place to buy your tickets. And the idea of the entrance plaza was a little bit loosely inspired from the Lincoln logs, and I didn't want to use the log walls, so I decided to go along with the red roof to kind of give it that Lincoln log feel. I also didn't want anything too big. Limited space, I guess you could say, throughout the zoo. Also, before I forget, this zoo is built on the map from the career scenario Eye of the Taiga. And it is the second career scenario map, I believe. It's the first one you get to build your own zoo on. So we got our shops like Pizza Pen, Gulpy Soda, just your standard stuff. Dessert shops, waters. And over here we got our gift shop. They only put one gift shop in because later on in the zoo we have an actual gift shop that's full on detailed with gift shop items and stuff like that. We'll get to that shortly. That'll be one of the last things we get to. We got our restrooms over here. You can go this way, which over here is where the vivarium and gift shop and ice cream shop is. You can also go this way. We got some staff facilities, all your standard stuff, animal trade center and whatnot. And of course you got your bathrooms. Fairly detailed, not too in-depth, but detailed enough, I think. It's looking pretty good. I'm pretty proud of it. We're going to start by going this way. And the first thing we come to is our Bison and Pronghorn Antelope habitat right over here. Oh, yeah, we got this little vending machine area over here. People sit down and have some snacks. So we go up here to our first viewing platform. These are for the Bison and Pronghorn Antelope. A fairly small habitat. I wanted it to be bigger, but again, I was concerned about the space in the zoo. So I decided to make it a little bit smaller. At one point there was a stream or a creek, but I felt like it was just too much compacted in a single area. At least from where I'm from, our zoo, our Bison and Pronghorn enclosures aren't that big, and I don't think they require too much space, but according to AIM standards, they're pretty happy, so it's not too much to complain about there. Yeah, custom roof, custom rafters, or support beams, if you want to call them those. And we'll start this way. We'll go this way. Also, custom fence. I use the rope pieces from the South American pack to give it that effect. Over here we got another viewing area for the Bison and the Pronghorn. Barn. The pieces were used with the Australian wall pieces. I thought about changing it out with the new color changeable now, but I felt like they looked just fine the way it was, and I figured there's no complaints. Sorry for the stuttering. The game is not running the best. Here to our right, we have a doll sheep enclosure. Simple, nothing too fantastic. Didn't really have a lot of ideas of what to do with this type of habitat, but I went with it anyway. I hope it turned out alright. Over here we got the sleeping areas where you can look inside and see the doll sheep using one-way glass, so they can't see you, but you can see them. Plus we got a keeper set in the staff center, or staff room, excuse me. And that right there is the habitat gate. Come to this side, we'll go to the other side of the Bison and Pronghorn Antelope, where we got this neat little viewing area, excuse me. It really stutters a lot over here. I guess it's because of all these animals. Plus the zoo has a high piece count, so. Alright, we'll continue this way where we got our reindeer habitat. Not really much inspiration for these first several habitats. I just kind of got on here and built whatever came to mind. But I feel like everything turned out pretty good. Over here we have the entrance to the reindeer habitat. Plus the keeper set staff centers. Pretty much the way I play this game. Every enclosure has at least a keeper set. A small one. I don't think it's necessary, but I think it helps. Here we get to feed the reindeer. One of the first blueprint items that you'll see are these feeding stations. Now these were built by K. Holland 1990. They can be found on the workshop. Of course they don't actually work, but they're more of an implied idea. We even have the posts here where the keepers can come and tie the reindeer up, so that way the guests can feed them. Also, there are no guests in the zoo. I've pretty much played the entire, or built the entire zoo with no guests because the computer just can't handle it. As you can see, it's just constant stuttering. Over here we have our Bactrian camels. Originally this was going to be a peafowl garden, but I felt like trying to cram all that stuff that I wanted to do with the peafowl garden under this small area just wouldn't work. So I decided to go with the camels. They're kind of a staple of any zoo anyway. Back here we have the Grizzly Bear habitat. I wanted to go for sort of like a cave in a way. There we go. Come into the cave area and have a good look. This is actually one of the favorite habitats that I've built so far. Leads up here to a cave. There's a stream that runs all the way along. Here comes one of them now. At the cave entrance back there. Some of the enrichment items I decided to put farther out because I felt like in reality you wouldn't want them all up towards the viewing glass. Pretty simple, nothing too fancy in here. I decided to go a little light on the lights here because whenever I put the lights in, they reflect very terribly off the glass and it's hard to look into it. I'll swing around this way real quick so I can show you the little backstage area that I have. This is pretty much shared between the doll sheep and the grizzly bears. Excuse me if you can hear any noise in the background. I got a fan going and cats are in here vibing, freaking out. We'll go this way and we'll take a look at the Timberwolves. Timberwolves plus the other staff area for the Pronghorn and Bison. Here is just yet another staff area. Entrance to the Timberwolf habitat with a keeper's hut. And they share the staff center over here. We got some restrooms. Didn't put as many restrooms and eating areas and stuff that I would have wanted to. But the stuttering, I tell you. Alright. Over here we got our Timberwolves. I'm very proud of this building. It's nothing, like I said, it's nothing spectacular, and there's plenty of people out there do a much better job than I do. But I really enjoyed building it. Before we head in, there's a little viewing area right over here. It seemed that this habitat was very popular on my channel. People seem to really like it. I am quite proud of it. There's some things that I wish I could have done a little bit differently, but I think we feel that way all the same about everything we do in this game. Nothing too spectacular in here except just getting these window frames right. I got a lot of crossfighting, but it was crazy trying to get it all fixed. So some of it just I just left. But a pretty good view. Double layered, or yeah, pretty much double layered split between the creek. Obviously, as you can see, they can jump, which isn't the best looking jump, but it works. I put the river effects, the rapid effects, into the creek to make it look like, to make it feel like it was actually coming from the waterfall over here, which that waterfall is connected to the actual river that was already built into the map. So it kind of feeds it. And this is one of their areas they can get up to the top here. Even though they can jump, I decided to put that there just in case, because it seemed like they I got stuck a lot in some of this foliage that I placed. Closer to the end, we'll do a view of the zoo from over the overview of the zoo, so everybody can get a good look at it. But the last little bit over here would be the camels are very noisy and very vocal. One of my favorite parts about this park was working on the river rather. Of course, if anyone has played the campaign, they know that's just a basic river, nothing too crazy in it. So I decided to place the little islands and vegetation and give it some of that effect of the running water. Over here, I decided to cut it off with the beaver dam type thing. It's man-made, but I wanted to give it the illusion that maybe the beavers have built it over time. Either that or it was already there when they began building the park. This way over is to the elephants. Even though it's more of a Pacific, West Coast or Northwest type zoo, I wanted to give it some big name animals instead of just your normal wolves and bears and antelope and bison and stuff like that you would find in North America. I wanted to give it some big names, or big named animals, or animals that people would definitely want to come and see. And once we get over to the bridge, this whole entire part of the park is strictly for the elephants. I think we got some elephants. Yes, we got some elephants roaming around out here now. Very vast and open. Lots of wooded areas for them to hide in. They seem to really enjoy it. Got the blocked off water area here. Again, it's not something you can really see. You have to look from afar. It's not something you can get up close to look at, but I wanted to give the elephants a lot of privacy. And I felt like maybe I achieved that. Like I said before, they seem very happy. Once we get onto the other side, it's pretty much the same thing. Except we got some more Richmond items and stuff over here. Some of their mud baths and toys. So, nothing too crazy. The staff facilities are all back here in the back, behind this brick wall. There's really no way for the staff to get out. I wanted to make sure that they pretty much stayed there, so they cannot leave that area. They are stuck there for life. I guess if they want to climb through the habitat, they're more than welcome to. And we got a little simple metal viewing area for the indoor section. As you can see, it's very vast and open, and I wanted to give it a little bit of a African vibe to it, even though I'm pretty sure these are the Indian elephants. To be honest with you, I can't quite remember. But as you can see, all the staff facilities are back here. We got Keeper's Hut, Vet, and Staff Lounge. I pretty much had built a path around the side of the mountain to get the elephants into the habitat. And once the elephants were into the habitat and those staff members were gone, I deleted the path. So the mechanic, vet, and keeper are stuck over there. The bridge, for instance, I was actually inspired by a few YouTubers. I kind of took some ideas that they had done and mixed them together and created this. I'm happy with it, but I do wish there were some things that I would have done differently. But I think it's unique. It's not something you see very often. We have bridges like this around where I'm from, but you don't see a lot of YouTubers or Planet Zoo players in general using bridges like this. So I went with something simple. This is pretty much the whole, what I like to call the lower half of the zoo. I think it's best to start on this side and we'll work our way around. I placed the gift shop on the other side of the zoo strictly for this reason. I kind of would think the guests would start this way towards the Australian section, then to go the other way. So that way before they leave the zoo they can stop, grab a gift, look at the reptiles and amphibians and spiders and what have you, and eat some ice cream. Also has a great view, by the way, so once we start getting up to the upper half of the zoo, there is some really, really nice views from those upper areas. So when we come up here, this is one of the first things I've actually built, which was just the standard large staff room vet. Alright, we work our way up. Lots and lots of walking. I would say that this zoo is not for everybody. Again, excuse me if I seem a little bit awkward. I'm not usually one to do these types of things. It's weird because I can spend all day training large groups of people at my job. Well, I used to. But this, it's weird because I feel like I'm talking to myself. And also, I hate the sound of my voice. So, I hope it doesn't bug people as much as it bugs me. So we come up here, we got another staff room. We're entering the Outback section before you get to it, though. I have another little plaza where you can come and eat with some bathrooms. Nothing too crazy. I've been seeing people do a lot of these flat roofs on their buildings, and I wanted to give it a shot and see how it looked, and I have to say it looks really good, although I do realize that I meant to put some supports up under this overhang here, but I had forgotten, but that's okay. And here we reach the Outback, which is a very small section of the zoo. I really wanted to add some of the newer animals from the Australian pack, which is the kangaroo and the koala. There are no aquatic animals in the zoo, but I did use some pieces from the aquatic pack. I know people really want to see the aquatic animals, but I felt like they just didn't fit this zoo. So I decided to skip them, and they will be a big part of the next sandbox zoo that we do. I think some of them might have to do with the climbing frames for the koalas, but who knows. The first animal in the Outback we come to is the red kangaroo. Very happy with this habitat. Like I said, it's nothing spectacular, nothing too crazy. I'm sure everyone has seen better, but I did like the idea of the multi-layered feeling you get with this habitat, where you got the upper layer up here where they can sleep under this. Although I don't believe they actually require any hard shelter. But I also like the idea I got with these planters up here at the top. And as you can see, I used some of the new. Well, never mind. Those are not the new ones. I thought that those. Nope, those are not from the aquatic pack. My bad. I apologize. But I do have some pieces from the aquatic pack here, like the underwater grass and the stuff that looks like the coral. I got the overhang arch. Like I said, I just wanted to try something different. Also, I've been seeing a lot of people use concrete putting under the feeding platform, and I really like that idea of just pulling up the terrain around the edges. Over here they have a little bit of a pond, which I don't think they use too much, but I thought it added to the atmosphere of the enclosure itself. So, all right, and on to one of my. Again, there's things I wish I would have done a little bit differently, but this is the koala house, and this is the new font that came with the aquatic pack. I really, really like that new font. It is wonderful, and it's perfect, and well, that's really all I can say about it. You'll be seeing me using it a lot. It's much better than the original font that we had, that's for sure. A lot of people hate that font, but I don't mind it. I can find uses for it. So the idea of this koala house was to have 2 indoor sections, one for their sleeping and one for the feeding eucalyptus tree, which for some reason they never use, even though I've checked the traversable area. It's even been filled, and they just don't use it. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if it's a bug. I've actually noticed that since building this enclosure, as you can see, they're climbing up here. This is the first time I've ever actually seen them climb, at least in this park. I used some of the already built in-game climbing structures and added some of my own twists to them, like using the rope. It's not that I can't build my own climbing structures, it's just that's one of my weaknesses in this game. I'm just not good at it. I've done a lot of practice, and eventually I'll get there, but for now, it's just not something I'm good at. So I'm kind of holding off on building my own. I'm going to try my best the next Sandbox Zoo to build my own, but I don't know how well it's going to go. And plus, I guess there's really nothing wrong with using the blueprints that are already in-game. I mean, that's what they're there for. So that's pretty much the Outback section. Like I said, nothing too crazy. I just wanted I wanted this zoo to kind of be broken up into about 3 to 4 sections, you know, of like the main park, and then we have an Outback, we have an African section, and then we have the section with the monorail station and the Bavarian dessert shop and gift shops. So we'll continue our way up this way. Here is the staff section. It goes all the way around. Like I said, nothing too crazy. It just goes all the way. This was the hardest part, is trying to figure out how I wanted to do all this, but I feel like it worked. We got the keeper set and 2 staff centers. It looked like I should have done some more work back here, but the game is running not the best in this zoo file. It seems like every time it updates, they fix a lot of things, but they also break a lot of things. So I believe this part of the park kind of runs a little bit better, simply for the fact that, well, I mean, there's not really much up here. So it's really just a lot of pathing, a lot of foliage, a lot of rocks. But here we enter the Tortoise Area, I guess what you like to call it. Actually a massive habitat for the tortoises. I didn't realize how big it was going to be until after I put the tortoises in. But also, I kind of turned it into a little bit of a place where people can sit down, eat some snacks, and enjoy the weather. But coming up, we got our tortoises. I used lots and lots of foliage, lots and lots of trees to kind of fill it out. As you can see, there's some tortoises back there. Try to give them as much privacy as possible. We got the sleeping area up here at the top, out of the way of the viewers, or the guests, should I say. I guess ignore that. I forgot to do something with that. But and here we got a good place for you to look and watch them eat. And despite the fact that I do not like them, I got the water pipe in here. I don't really think they can go in there, so that really was just for show. And we got our staff section back here. I decided to add a little bit of props. I'm usually not one to do that too much, but I thought it'd be cool to add some props. Like I said, nothing too crazy. I know a lot of Planet Zoo players out there, they build really, really neat backstage props, and I really like them, but I was worried about piece count in this zoo because it isn't running the greatest. And that's the tortoise section. Alright, so up here we go in towards the African section, or the African zone. There's only 3 animals, one single enclosure and then one that's shared. Heavily dense in the foliage. These types of animals, I believe these are the Nyalas, they're pretty secretive animals, so I wanted to make sure that there's a lot of places for them to hide. So the odds of you getting to see one is fairly slim. This is just a little area that's kind of sunken in to keep the guests off the path. Looks like we're getting lucky today because they're walking right by the window. But we got a sleeping section here, and we also they can walk over the bridge and get to their little sleeping area over there if they don't want to be bothered. This is one-way glass, so that helps a lot. One of my favorite things about this map is the terrain work in general. That's why I decided to use this map and build a sandbox zoo on it. I don't see a lot of people doing that. I feel like they should, only because Frontier did such an amazing job working on these maps. I mean, they're incredible. The mountains, the landscapes, everything. So I wanted to use it. I have plans to use more in the future, so we'll see how that goes. We have another, which pretty much is the same as the one you saw down there. It's an upper level staff section that's been sunken into the mountainside, which I really like that idea, by the way, is sinking these things into the mountainside. I think it gives it a cool effect. Again, nothing too crazy. I just wanted something simple and quick. Staff facilities is not my favorite thing to build. I feel like it's kind of boring. So I'm sure other people might disagree, and if you do, please let me know in the comment section, because I would love to know if I should continue to put these builds of doing the staff buildings on my channel, or skipping those and just doing them on my own time off camera. But over here we come to our last section of the African zone, which is the ostrich and zebra, plain zebra mixed habitat. Again, with the concrete, I think it gives it a kind of a cool effect. And over here we got, once again, one of these covered areas where you can come in and look. And this habitat turned out pretty well. I was actually worried that there wasn't going to be enough room, but there turned out to be plenty of room. So it all worked out. I really like this. It's just adding some log pieces around the edge of the foraging pit, and they can go off into the water from the foraging pit as well. And back here we have the sleeping area for the plain zebras and the common ostriches. Here, we'll get here in just a second. We're going to swing around here and look at this other side. It's, again, a good view. Try to keep them as well hidden as possible. Alright, we'll start here with the Siberian tiger habitat. This is the last habitat that is built on this map before the series ends. I hope everyone likes it. It's definitely different, a little bit more custom than what some of the other stuff in the whole zoo had been built like. But one of my favorite parts is the cave viewing. I really wanted to take advantage of some of these mountains. You know, you got the sides of the mountains sticking out. I really wanted to take advantage of pushing path through and using that space available. Again, nothing fancy. I didn't want to put a whole lot of detail in here because I wanted it to feel a little bit natural. So that's why some of the lights are kind of curved and they're not quite sitting right. There we go. Alright, we come in here. No luck. Tigers are out and about, but you can come in and look into the viewing area. This is a one-way glass, so they won't be disturbed. Again, I know I haven't talked a whole lot about the inspiration behind these builds, these habitats, but it's because I genuinely didn't really have much inspiration. I do watch a lot of other YouTubers, of course, and they give me some good ideas. But a lot of times I just think about this stuff in my head when I'm trying to sleep or when I'm at work and I'm bored. And I got nothing else better to do, and I just kind of sit down and think about it, and I'll jot some ideas down. And this is the kind of ideas that my brain comes up with. Sometimes they're not good, and sometimes they're not bad. I guess it just depends. But we wanted to make good use of the new font that we got in the game. Plus, I made a custom wall back here with sort of like a catch fence so the tigers can't get over. It's a little bit repetitive because I just did the whole, make one piece and duplicate it over. So I decided to cover as much as I could with more foliage to make it look a little bit less repetitive. But we come up here, and this is where we get the Siberian tiger viewing area. I went with the Siberian tiger, by the way, instead of the Bengal because they're used to more of a cold environment, and it does get cold here in this biome. So, but yeah, they seem to really enjoy it. I've seen them a few times climb up these little dead trees. I don't know if it's that one or the other one. There's two, but they do climb them. Got over here, you got some enrichment items. Got a hidden area back here. Plenty of water for them to swim in because they really do love to swim. And over here you get a glimpse of the cave, but like I said, I wanted to give them a lot of privacy and a lot of forested, woody areas. And this is quite a big enclosure, one of the biggest that's in the zoo besides the elephants. Also, it's the end of the map. The map ends right here, so I covered all this up with the rocks to give it sort of like a rock face. I think it turned out pretty well. We got some custom lights hanging from the ceilings. Not only that, but a custom roof as well. Custom planters, just to kind of put something into the window. I really wanted to use the one-sided glass, but just wasn't working out the way I wanted it to, so it's a part that I cut out of that particular speed build video. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's your only viewing. That's the only place you can view the tigers. Like I said, I wanted a lot of privacy besides the cave viewing. So that's pretty much all the animals in the zoo. As you coast down the hill here, and this is where we come to the very end. Before we do anything, we'll take you over to the monorail, and I will leave the video and the zoo tour off at the end with the monorail tour. But we come around, and like I said, nothing too fancy. I just wanted something basic, like this zoo is the whole point of this. Well, should I say park is to be. I wouldn't want to say basic, but just what's needed, I guess you could say. But we come in, and well, we got some floating. Yep, we got some floating flower pots. That's nice. You come in. Again, nothing too crazy. I really wanted it overgrown, so I want kind of like an experience as you leave the station, enter the station. We got a neat little waterfall here. Again, just trying new things is pretty much what this is. This is my first full, sandbox park. So I really wanted to have some fun with it and just kind of test some things out. We got the maintenance shed and staff lounge specifically for the monorail station. Interestingly enough, I don't think he really counts as a, so I'm not sure. Alright, we'll come to the last little bit here. First, we'll stop at the Bavarian and dessert shops. A little bit of a square, boring building, but like I said, I was more focused on the interiors of these particular buildings because I feel like that was more important, and I just really wanted it to look good. So I even have these custom overhangs here. Before we go into the vivarium, we'll go up here to the dessert shop, which again is simple, using some of the new Australian floor pieces. Nothing, again, like I keep saying over and over again, nothing too fancy, but like I said, sometimes it's really hard to come up with some inspiration. I've got some neat little bathrooms. My favorite part is the view. The view is spectacular from this vantage point. I mean, could you imagine sitting here And looking out, I mean, you can see the animals. I mean, it's incredible. It really is incredible. I feel like this is the type of thing that this game is all about, is being able to create things like this with an epic view. You know, I mean, this place is really coming together. Plenty of the foliage makes everything work. I used foliage only from the North American continent. Doesn't matter which biome. It could be cactuses and what have you. I just wanted to only use the foliage. I'm not looking for any kind of realism. I just really wanted it to look good, and I felt like the only way to do that is to make sure that the foliage matches where we're at. So the Pacific Northwest is pretty much where this, I would feel, this zoo is located. Either that or maybe up into Canada or something like that. So the view is awesome. Also, I don't know if other players get this, but all my zoos seem to have this problem where the staff continuously get stuck in place. No matter what I do, I can delete the path, lay the path back down, remove some of the floor pieces. It doesn't matter what I do, it constantly happens. So if anybody has a fix to it, please let me know. But it happens in every single zoo that I do. Alright, so we'll go into my favorite part of the entire zoo, the vivarium. Custom door. Well, we used doors that are already in the game, but around it is all custom framing and all that stuff. But we come in, and I'm very proud of this. This came out much better than I thought. It takes a while to get these curved and slanted walls and stuff like that. So, but we got our custom walls here. I got these little fan things, and it's kind of like an implied, vent for all of the exhibit animals. A lot of people, I have to say, are not big fans of the exhibit animals. Me personally, I love them. They're actually one of my favorite things in the game. I understand why people don't like them, because there's not really much you can do with the animals and the insides of the exhibits themselves, but you can make some awesome reptile houses and awesome arachnid centers and anything you want to do with them. I mean, you can put so much detail in here that it looks good, like really good. But we start out with our Titan beetle. Usually hard to spot. See if we can find one. Not seeing them, but I'm pretty sure everyone has seen them before. Actually, I believe that's one right there. Maybe. And we come over here to the Goliath Frog. He's in there somewhere. And this, I thought, was pretty neat. There's a little bit of a water feature using the New World, I guess it's like a grate in a way or something, running down. Again, not much for realism. It's like, where does the water go? Where does it come from? But, you know, it's a game, so I'm just wanting to have some fun with it. We got the Mexican red-knee tarantula right here in the corner. Little fun fact about me is I can't stand spiders. I'm terrified of them. I don't like them. As a matter of fact, I don't really like any insect or arachnid at all. They creep me out. I can't stand them. Same goes for scorpions, which are arachnids anyway. But they're in here somewhere. Now, they're in the game. They're cool because they're not real. But in reality, no thank you. Don't want nothing to do with them. I'm a big reptile freak, though. I love reptiles. Absolutely love reptiles. So the Gila Monster is awesome. Sweet little animal. I'm sure most of you already know that they're actually venomous. If I'm not mistaken, they're one of 2 venomous snakes in the world. Other one being the Komodo dragon. Amazonian giant centipede. These are, again, something in reality I hate. And I don't want nothing to do with, but I do think they're cool to look at. Same with the spiders and all the other insects. They're really cool to look at. And the last 2 animals, which are my favorite animals, not necessarily these 2, but just in general, I love snakes. Snakes are my favorite animal. Is the rattlesnake and the common death adder. He's in there somewhere. There's one wrapped around the tree trunk. One over there. Really cool animals. I wish you could have more than 2 in here, which technically you can, but if you want to go for any kind of realism, you can only have 2. And we got the common death adder. It has been really hard to do the last couple of episodes, speed build episodes of this zoo, due to the constant freezing and stuttering. But to be fair, it took a while for it to get to that point. So you come around, exit. Got some staff facilities over there. Again, nothing spectacular. I don't want to spend too much time beautifying the staffing facilities. I just want to focus on making a cool zoo with some cool buildings and a lot of cool animal habitats and stuff. And I don't feel like this is my best work. I really hope you guys disagree. And if you agree, that's okay too. But coming over here, we got our gift shop. Again, with another custom overhang. There's some blueprints in here, and we'll give out those names in just a second. Also, something I forgot. And I feel bad for forgetting, so I apologize. But, of course, you guys know that is Rycie or Rycie. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Lovely fonts, which I'm pretty sure that this particular font right here is what inspired the new font that they just added to the game. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you can't find better fonts than that. Up here we got a little bit of a seating area again. You know, after walking up all these hills, you know you're going to be tired. So you come over, drink some coffee, get some juice, some ice cream, milkshakes, and sit down and relax. But under this custom umbrella. And then we come into the gift shop, the Hawkridge Treasures. I guess you could say sponsored by Just a Memento. Something I've learned is doing research while playing this game is that a lot of times you find the gift shops in the entrance / exit of the zoo because they want you to look in there when you arrive and look when you leave. You'll be more willing to buy something. But that's pretty much why I placed this here, because I felt like if people went towards the Outback section first, they would come around and this is where they'd end right before they get back to the entrance. Is they'd come in here and check it out. This idea for this building went through a lot of changes. I'm still not sure about it. So like I said, it's one of the earlier episodes I did for YouTube when I first started. So I think it turned out okay. But when we come in, we got a custom door. I'm not sure about the size of it in relation to, you know, like the relation to the staff members and the guests and stuff. But again, I wasn't going for too much realism here. So when we come in, you'll see some of these awesome, like just literally amazing props that was built by, let me make sure I get the names right. We have gift shop items in here from Skylala and PlasticSwans. I'm sure everybody knows who PlasticSwans is. But we come in and we just get some, all this was custom built by Skylala and PlasticSwans. And we got these are so freaking cool. These cash registers by John Eros. I hope I said that right. I apologize if I didn't. I'm not the best at names. Of course, this is like an implied, you know, checkout lane. The guests will walk right through to get over here. But like I said, there's really no guests in the zoo anyway, so I didn't see no point in worrying about it too much. But once again, just cool little props. I really like how everything turned out in here. It's really great. I like the red, and plus, at night, these light up blue. Which, since we're at the end here, I can go ahead and show you. We'll kind of take a look around at night. They're supposed to light up blue. They're not. I don't know why, but they're supposed to. But yeah, this is nighttime in the gift shop. Looking pretty sweet. Outside, again, I went with plenty of lighting. I think lighting is important. I don't think it's necessary to use lighting when you're building a zoo. A lot of people just play strictly for the daytime, which is pretty much what I do, but I really enjoy making sure everything is bright and looks good. One of my favorite things, I don't know if people know this or not, but you can change the lights inside the exhibits. You can change them to blue, pink, yellow, red, whatever you want them to be. And we'll leave the zoo at night. So there's one last area to look at, which is a little bit of a sad area, which I apologize, I forgot at the beginning. You can enter from down there. But is another area to look at the doll sheep. I really wanted something different, and I wanted to make use of the cliff that was up here. And, well, this is what you get. As you can see, a really great view of the Dall sheep down here. I think an animal that's most popular, but I like them. Also a custom overhang to stand under. But yeah, this is pretty much Hawk Ridge Animal Park. It will be available on Steam the day that this video is posted. So that would be second or third week of January or something like that. I can't really remember what day I have it scheduled. But yeah, this is it. I really hope that people liked it. I know it's not the best tour. Watch your eyes. But I know it's not the best tour, and I'm new at this, and just bear with me. I'll get better over time. I really appreciate all the support that I've gotten so far. Now that we're in, we'll go ahead and take an overview of the whole zoo. Make sure I didn't forget anything. But yeah, there you go. Seems like a lot, but it really isn't. I think it's a standard size zoo. You got your elephants, wolves, camels, bison and pronghorn, reindeer, bears. You got the koala house, kangaroos, tortoises. Got the African section over here with the tigers, monorails, and all that stuff. So I'm proud of it. I don't think it's my best work yet, and I'm hoping that the next sandbox zoo that I do will be my best work yet. So before I get off here and end this tour, I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the support. The fact that I've reached the amount of subscribers and followers and whatever you want to call it already is incredible. I never thought in a million years that after about 4 months, I started this September 8th. My first video, I believe, was published September 8th. And it is now December 30th or 31st. I think it's the 30th. And I'm already at 87 subscribers, and that is incredible. I never thought in a million years that I'd be this far already. I thought, 6 months in, I'd only be at about maybe 20 subscribers, if not. If even for the people that just go on and dislike my videos, it's whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's some kind of feedback, and that's what's important. That's what I'm looking for. I also want to say that you'll also find in the description a link to my Discord channel. It's not very active. I only have about 10 members, I think, maybe less. But feel free to come on and join. That way you can talk to me. I enjoy making new friends, especially people who like the same things that I like. Planet Zoo, Jurassic World, and any kind of simulation strategy type games. You can also recommend suggestions. Maybe games you'd like to see on the channel. Let me know how this commentary went. I know I felt like I got better at it as this video went on, but maybe not. I'll leave that up to you to decide. But please, even if it's not good, please tell me ways I can improve. I really need that. So again, this will be up on the workshop the day that this video is released, and I'm going to end the video with a quiet monorail tour with some music in the background around the whole park, and I can't wait to see you in the next zoo. And also, don't let me forget, there will be a teaser, a little bit of a trailer, I guess you could say, revealing the name and the idea of what the next zoo is going to be. And that will be a little later on after this video is published. But thank you guys so much for joining me. Hope this wasn't too cringeworthy, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you, and have a good one.